Hey, Oliver here, and I wanted to give you something special today. Okay, a surprise bonus. And I'm going to share with you a very powerful video called 7 Breakthroughs for Unstoppable Abundance. All right, and the information you're going to find here, sometimes it's more valuable than the ones that you see in paid programs. Okay, this is the combination of 14 plus years of me learning, mastering, embodying abundance in my life, and everyone that I've taught this to, they've done the same as well in their lives. So I want to share this powerful video with you. Make sure you pull a pen and paper, take some notes. It's going to be some good stuff, all right? And I'll see you towards the end because I have a very, very special invitation for you towards the end, all right? Here you go. Let's see here. You know how this works, guys. It takes a while for Facebook algorithm to kick in, so we're going to wait here for a few seconds while people keep popping. Look at this amazing red rock here behind me, and some nature, all this clearing energy. All right, so wow, people from New Zealand, perfect. All right, people to pop back on. All right, step back in here, get a little bit of air conditioning in the Arizona heat. All right, okay, we're gonna wait for a few more seconds here. Make sure that people have popped on board so we can do our training for today. It's going to be an amazing training. A little sneak peek of the whiteboard over here. 7 big breakthroughs for unstoppable abundance. All right. Perfect. Let's not here. All right, everybody. Oh, wow. Netherlands, New Zealand, a lot of people. Okay, so Moldova. Wow, blessed to have a lot of people from all over the world here. Hello. Okay, everybody, if you guys know the drill, if you can see me and hear me, go ahead and just comment yes and yes, and we will get started going over 7 big breakthroughs for unstoppable abundance. Right? We're from Orange County, South Africa. Wow. Yeah. Oh, you guys are all over the place. All right. So let's talk real quick about this issue. And this is one of the things that that came to me, like, yesterday, as I was scrolling through a lot of the comments. It seemed to me that that one of the main issues that people are struggling with is abundance. Financial abundance, financial freedom, lack of opportunities, or living paycheck to paycheck. And this is a theme that I've seen over and over again in the questions that you guys filled, the survey questions that I've seen before, and just people's challenges in general. So today, I'm going to share with you my 7 big breakthroughs for unstoppable abundance. And this is it's crazy. I look back over the last 12 plus years, and I'd like to say I'm blessed, but at the same time, looking back, I'm like, there are things that I did to be blessed, things that principles and strategies that some of them I followed unconsciously, some of them I had to learn, some of them I had to rewire my brain for, but there were things that I did to where it didn't, because I've had in looking back in the past, finances and abundance, man, I made it all and I've lost it all. I've been in highs and the lows of the lows. Bankruptcy, I've been through that. And I know what it's like to literally look at your bank account and worried if payments are gonna bounce because the balance is too low, right? Been in places to where charges come through and all of a sudden your bank account's negative and you're waiting for a big lump sum or some sort of check to come through to kind of tide you through. I've been through that. I've been through times to where I would have to gas up and I'm like, wow, I don't even have enough money for gas, and I was and it's such a feeling of, brings you to a feeling of fight or flight, very, very primal, very, you need to survive. And I remember those times. And regardless of all those that happened, right? I was always protected. I was always provided for. Things always happened for me, even under the lowest of the lows. And yeah, I may have been in those situations for, a few hours, sometimes a few days, sometimes, a week or a few weeks. But every single time I catch myself, and I've actually implemented these, what I'm about to share with you, it's like life changes like that. And that's what I want to share with you, is how from the outside view, okay, and people have said it, hey, Oliver, it looks like you are pulling abundance or money out of thin air. How did you do that? It was such a close call. How did you bounce back, right? And in my experience, a lot of it has to do with approaching it from the energetic point of view and having the right mind frame to create it. But in combination, it's what gets you to the next level. I mean, the techniques and the how-tos aren't as important as what I'm about to share with you. It really isn't. If you master this, man, this is, when I master this, there's no place right now I'm fearful of. I can lose everything in my life, business and everything that's sustaining me financially, and I could be rock bottom of rock bottom, and I wouldn't be afraid. I wouldn't, I might have my human self kick in with some fears, while that's happening, but deep down, and I'm gonna have it back and more because of these principles I'm about to share with you. Okay, so that's why they're so powerful. And if you can master this while you have little or nothing, then you'll have everything. All right. So that's what I'm gonna share with you today, and let's get started. And these are the way I figured this out. Is I kind of studied myself for a bit. I pulled back and I'm like, this is something that I naturally do. Right? I don't know where I learned some of this from, but let me put the pieces of the puzzle together. Because when things are happening and most people break down, I'm pretty resilient, and it bounces back up. And it seems like there's always something happening to save the day. There's always miracles occurring, and people, my wife has pointed it out. People in the past have pointed it out. I was like, wow, this, it's like you're lucky. Reality is, we create our own luck. Everybody has that ability to be lucky. Everybody has the ability to create. Because the reality is, one of my beliefs is my frequency is my bank account. All right. A lot of the times, when people think of abundance and think of money, they think of what's in the bank. They look at the numbers. They look at what's in their wallet. They look at their debt, and savings ratio. They just look at that. They look at what's coming. They look at what's coming out, and they're stuck on that. They're stuck on that, not knowing and not realizing that isn't. That happens, but that's the thing that affects that. It's your frequency. It's your energy. You can create that, and when you are at a different frequency, that number raises up. So for me, I look at it as, my personal beliefs is my frequency is my bank account, the universe and God, they're my ATMs, they're ATM machines, and I am divinely supported and provided for. I'm taken care of. Period. The end. That's one of my beliefs. It's extremely strong. And so when things aren't in the physical realm yet, I don't freak out and look at my bank account balance. It's been a while since I do that, and I just look at, okay, what frequency do I want to be on? How can I cash it? And I just open my arms and receive it, right? And that is and that is one of the things that I've learned. It's extremely powerful. So if you guys can make that shift, I don't know if you have to write it down, my frequency, okay, my frequency, is my frequency and my energy, they're my bank account. That is my bank account. God, the universe, whatever you believe in, they're your biggest supporters. They're your ATMs, they're your bank accounts. They will support you in whatever you want to do, right? And I want you to just type down and comment what resonates with you, but let's just get into the mind frame and say to mind that your bank account balance and all that financial abundance isn't linked to your bank account. It isn't. It's linked to your frequency, your energy, and your bank account is endless. Universe, higher power, divinity, God has an endless amount of abundance to give. So it doesn't run out, right? It doesn't run out. It only runs out when you close your hand and you shut off and you refuse. That's the only time it does. And you might not realize this when you look at this. Sometimes it's done energetically or emotionally to where it's like you just cringe. You get into that state, and then and this is an analogy that I shared in earlier videos, is if you have a higher being, divine being, highest powers, whatever you believe in, that's abundantly wanting to give to you, like a father or a mother wants to give unconditionally to a child, right? Wants to give and give and give abundance to you, right? The only way that you're not going to receive it is if you are cringing, or you have a close, like a palm fist like this, and you're not opening up to it, right? And what does that mean? So a lot of the times that you can see that, to where when we hit these states of being, and you look at your bank account balance, and you look at the bills, and you get triggered, then you start spiraling into shame, into fear, into kind of like anger, or just secluding yourself from society, and just like sterling in that pity, right? What ends up happening is you're doing this, is you're not expanding enough to be able to receive what's going to be given. So a lot of it is realizing. That's why I'm like one of the biggest shifts is rewiring what the meaning of your bank account is. Your bank account really is like your statements. That is not your bank account. That's not your source of abundance. Your energy and your frequency is, and that supports you. Okay, so that's the first thing. And by the way, thanks for reminding me. You guys are on it. I almost forgot. Yeah, if you guys are having a breakthrough or an aha moment, okay, hashtag aha, hashtag breakthrough, and put in the comments below what that breakthrough is. Okay, again, as you know, I'm reading all of this stuff, and it's only a matter of time where I'll read it. I'm like, oh, people need this. Let me create a free training and throw it in here. Okay, so my frequency is my bank account. So one way, someone asks, how do I let go and how to receive? One way of doing that is in the moment that you're getting triggered. Let's say you open up the bill and you're looking at your bank account balance. You're like, wow, it's pretty low. And what ends up happening is, this is what happens. You look at the balance, right? Typically, speaking from experience, looking at the balance, and you're like, this is what it is. And you start looking at, oh wow, this is what's going to be charged, what I have to pay, what's going to come out, yada yada yada. And you're like feeling like, how am I going to make it? What's going to happen? I'm gonna have to penny pinch. What bills do I have to cut? I'm gonna deprive myself of this. So next thing you know, you start shrinking, closing off, because you're looking at what you have and what you don't have, and you're jumping into that reality. So naturally, you're closing off. So what you do is you interrupt yourself in that moment. Put the bills away for now. Do something for self-care. You already know this. You have a lot of different things you can do for self-care. Disengage, right? Disengage, do something for self, do something that eases you. Because if you keep going down that path, it's kind of like a car overheating. It's gonna stop. It's not gonna get anywhere. So you gotta cool down, right? So whether it's the dancing, the walking, the running, meditation, journaling, talking to a friend, watching something funny, you gotta be able to cool down. And then what ends up happening is afterwards, you just send love, be grateful, for what you do have in life. You start walking in the refrigerator and like giving thanks for what you do have. Look at the things that you have and just be grateful for that. Be grateful for what you have and what you've created, right? And then remember that abundance, the money, the car, the house, the things that show up as numbers in your bank account balance, it's all created by you. You create it. You dictate it. You put intentional energy to make that happen. And realize that your frequency, your energy is the source of that. If there's something that you want to create, you can create it, and you are divinely supported by somebody that does not have a limit to how much they're willing to support you, right? And once you start doing that and start doing that process, it might not make sense right now, but once you start doing that and going through that, what ends up happening is you go from cringing to cringing to cringing to opening up, elevating your frequency. Next thing you know, you're higher. Okay? That's the goal. That is the goal. So remember that. That's a big one. The next thing is the concept that I want to share with you guys is energetic containers, right? So what does that even mean? What does it mean to have energetic containers? So the way I look at it is energy, okay, is something that's you're learning that you have control of, and whatever you put it towards, whatever you want, whatever you intend to happen, you get there as long as the mental, emotional, energetic blockages are removed. You get there quicker. You bend time, right? So a lot of the times people, they do have this mentality of they are planning or they're putting their energetic focus on something in the middle. So if you're here and you want to go here, you want to put your energetic focus somewhere beyond that. So for example, all right, I'll give you an example. If I had a friend that wanted to go on a vacation. She wanted to go on a vacation with her family. In fact, we were going on a vacation and she wanted to be part of it. We invited her and she was like, wow, I don't have the money for it. I don't know how I'm gonna pull it through. I don't know how I'm gonna make it happen, so on and so forth, right? So here's where she was, here's where she wanted to be, right? And she was focusing on, wow, I can't even make it happen. I can't even make it happen. What's going on, right? So I told her this concept of energetic containers. I'm like, listen, right now you're focusing on, I can't make it happen. It's not gonna happen. How am I gonna do this? I'm not gonna be able to go. Guess what? You are directing your mental, your emotional, your energetic focus on that reality, and you're building it up, and you're putting seeds in there, you're watering that, roots are coming out, branches are coming out, fruits are coming out. Next thing you know, that is your dominant reality. Now I told her, listen, all right, I want you to do this instead, because you're used to doing this all the time, right? She's like, yep. How has that worked for you? Has it worked for you? Or do you always just not? She's like, always not. All right, think of this for a second, okay? I want you to focus on, instead of, I don't have it. Instead of let me buy it, let me get it. I want you to focus on, you're already on the vacation. What are you gonna do? I was like, okay, go pull the website up, look at the place where we were wanting to go, and look at the places where you want to go, what you want to do, right? What is it? And she started listing all the restaurants, all the places they would sightsee, all the activities they would do. And I'm like, okay, focus on that. Ground up in that reality. But I don't know about the plane tickets. I was like, it doesn't matter. Put your energy right here. Right here. Create that container, focus. So she spent time focusing on it, you're looking at the restaurants. I was like, make a reservation. She's like, oh my, but I don't have, trust me. So she made the reservations for the restaurant. She started planning. She started, doing the hard stuff, telling her kids that they're going, all yada, yada, yada. Next thing you know, within a short amount of time, money happened. Money showed up, and she was able to do it with her family. The reason why is because she put her intentional energy from this container to the container where it's already happened, not this container where it won't happen. And boom, it happened. And it's counterintuitive, because you're like, what if it fails? What if it this? But that thought builds this container over here, not where you want. So energetic containers are so important when it comes to manifesting. Don't focus on why it won't work, all the obstacles. Focus as if you're already beyond that you're planning in this area, and because the thing is, you are a powerful creator. You control the energy, and wherever you direct your energy the most, it builds that reality. So why build a reality you don't want, right? Why do that? And a lot of people do that. I used to be guilty of that and have to catch myself every single time. But guess what? Every time I energetically put my focus on a container in the future and focus on that, which assumes that I've already done it, then it gets there quicker. It bends time. All right. So energetic containers are super important. They really are. All right. And how many of you guys? I'm just curious. How many of you guys have done this in the past, to where when you're focusing on what you want, you put your energetic container into right here where you don't want it. I was one of them. All right. So I'm just curious, how many of you guys did that? So now what I want you to do is I want you to commit to this. Okay. Pick one thing, all right, that you want right now in life, and to start practicing doing this, creating the container right here. All right. And I want you to commit to that today. Okay. Whatever area in your life that you're working on right now, okay, that you're wanting the most, do that. Right, and set it up now, and you might even comment below to solidify it in, like, I'm creating the container that I will, and comment below, right? And I'm wanting you to do this so you guys can remember this, stamp it in time, stamp it, and look back at this like in a few days, a week, a few weeks from now, and be like, wow, it happened. I commented there, I did it in this post, this was the day, and then boom, it happened. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to build the belief that this works. Because once you see it works once, you're gonna try it again the second time, and it's gonna become your only reality. To where, wow, I'm not broke, I'm not limited, I'm not disempowered. I can create anything I want at will, whenever I want. It's just a matter of energy management, stepping into my power, realizing that I'm powerful, and focusing on the things that I do want. Right. So this is a little bit more of me putting that whole focus on what you want and what you want, not what you don't want, into an actual practical, applicable technique. Okay? Creating the container, super, super, super important. Some people are already commenting it here. All right, so go ahead, comment in, let me know, guys, what container you guys are creating. Let's stamp that into this reality. All right? So the next thing that I want to talk about is full and total energy, and catch-22. It's super important. Okay, so a lot of times there's a lot of things that happen to have catch-22s in it, right? So for example, I'll give you an example. In the past, when I am trying to help a friend, really, I've done this several times to when I've mastered in the past how to market online, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. You can work from home. You can make an impact, you can market online. I started, I had some friends that wanted to learn how to do it too. And it was one of the things where we were building an e-commerce store. And I remember, I've done it so many times to where, this whole living in faith and putting the container right here, that for me is now become second nature. But for a lot of other people, it's not. So I remember my friend was like, I want to try to do what you're doing. I want to start selling stuff online. I want to start an e-commerce store. So I want to do that, but I don't think my wife would support me in it. I don't think she believes in me, right? So his theory was, my wife and my family, they don't believe in me. They don't believe it's gonna work. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna move forward in pursuing this thing that I actually do want to do. Right, so that was the logic, and I thought to myself, at that moment, something came through, and I'm like, you know what? Here's the thing: your wife, your friends, your family, they don't believe you can do it. They don't believe that can happen. Why do you think that is? And we came to the conclusion, they don't, because there's no proof. There's no proof, right? But how is proof created? What's the best way to create proof? The best way to create proof is for him to do it, to jump in there, to go ahead and do it, to learn it, to master it, to get some results, and then show proof to his wife, his friends, and family members that it worked. The reason why I know it worked is because here's the proof, here's the results, and it worked. So the reason why it's a catch-22 is this. because this person was not going to start and was not going to pursue his dreams of financial freedom because he was afraid that his wife, his family members, his friends didn't believe in him, didn't support him, didn't believe that it was possible, right? But the thing is, belief only comes when sometimes, most of the time, comes when you give people results and they're like, oh, okay, now I believe. But there's no results unless you actually take action. So if you're waiting for belief and support from others before you do what you want to do, you're going to be stuck. That's why it's a catch-22. And the moment I explained this to him, and you realize, like, okay, it makes a lot of sense. I'm like, he was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go for it. So did the whole thing, set that container, boom. Set a container right here, did the whole thing, and next thing you know, e-commerce business took off, and they made a lot in the first few months, and then his wife finally believed, right? And that became his paradigm of like, wow, and that brings me to that lesson of full and total energy and belief in what you are, what you are wanting, right? Because a lot of the times when you want something or when you want to do something, you won't even have the belief. You might not have the belief because the belief comes from, and the belief and the confidence comes from feedback. If you do something, you do it right, you get feedback, you get results, it builds your belief and confidence that you can do it. That's how we learn anything in life, right? As we build up competence, and competence builds up confidence and belief, right? So a lot of the times when I'm doing something, I might not have the belief. I might have opposing beliefs, but I know that if I put my full energy and full focus on that container and moving it forward, and know that the belief and the confidence, and I won't wait for the belief and I won't wait for the confidence to come before I do something, because I know that it's a catch-22. I know that that's only going to come once I do the work, once I take the step, once I take action. And that's what's going to build it. Because unless you take action, because literally, information is not power, it's potential power. I forgot who said that. That's one of the things that I heard before. It hit me. And because it doesn't matter what's in your head, it's what you do with it. It doesn't matter if you wanted to do it, it's actually you doing it, right? So a lot of the times is thinking about it that way. Because life is a series of decisions. The I do's, yes, starting something, deciding to do something, breaking up, moving away, starting a new job, having kids. Life is a series of decisions. Decisions that change our life, decisions that move us forward, decisions that hold us back, decisions that really we regret. Or life is also a series of things that we didn't do, right? We forgot to do this, we failed to do this, we didn't do this in retrospect, we didn't show up here, we didn't make the call, we didn't say I love you, whatever. Life is a series of things that we did and didn't do, and that affects our reality. So a lot of the times, once you start seeing the pattern that life really is a series of decisions, and that a lot of times those decisions need to be made in the highest good of surrender in whatever you're trying to pursue, whether you're trying to pursue something for your relationship or your health or your wealth, for abundance, it doesn't matter. A lot of it is training yourselves to be able to make that decision of putting your energy in a container which you do want, and not waiting for the logical ducks in a row to line up. You're just going by divine plan and saying, that's what I want, please support me, and doing whatever you can to focus on that. All right? So that's what full and total energy. Another one is the masculine and feminine energy of abundance. And the reason why I want to talk about this, because there is a flow to it. And we all within us have both masculine and feminine energies that are balanced. It's the yin and yang. And this is something that we do need to master. Okay, and I've fluctuated a lot between the two in the past, and only to find calibration. You go far one end, to feminine, to masculine, and then the true power comes when you're able to use whatever you need, but it's balanced. or you can pull it out on demand. Okay, so the feminine energy of abundance is all the ideas, the creativity, the flow that goes through, and like you're just following your intuition, and it just comes, and you're just like, wow, like, you know, I'm divinely guided, intuitions come in, I'm like, you know, I'm in the flow, like, I don't have to, like, you know, it's just like it just happens, right? That's a feminine energy of abundance. And then what happens is there is the masculine version of it, to where, okay, all this is coming in, but I'm in this 3D world, this reality, to where I gotta do stuff to make it. I gotta follow the science. I gotta follow the steps. I gotta make like this thought. I gotta manifest it into reality. So that's when you actually do stuff. To where if you're working on, like, you know, for example, like you're working on healing your relationship with, you know, a friend, and that comes through you through like when you're in the divine feminine flow of abundance and manifestation that comes through you, you gotta do something with that. You really do. You gotta take action, and then that's when the masculine energy comes in, where you master, you're able to pull it in to where you decisively, you get it done, and you just take action. And both of that, of receiving and downloading intuition, and then taking massive action and moving forward, those that's the balance. But those have to be happening at all times, right? And especially when you're bending time and accelerating abundance, you're gonna be doing this a lot, okay? And that's okay. And a lot of it's probably expanding your identity to be able to do both of them at the same time. You can't just do one or the other, because it will be slower, or you will burn out, or it's just not going to be as effective. All right. Okay. So let's see here. Another question I had here is, how do you handle the creeping in of doubt during the focus of the energy container? Is doubt's fine. I don't try to get rid of it, because it's impossible. That's my logical mind, primal mind kicking in. Okay, I still need to move forward despite of the doubt, because I know that once I move forward, it will create the reality, it will create the results, it will create everything I need, and that will appease the doubt. So it's like the catch-22. Okay, so then another thing I want to talk about here is the high road. So the high road is it's a concept, okay, that I've learned. In the past, I was in the business industry, and it was very, very successful online, but a lot of people that I was helping, like, you know, they just weren't succeeding. Like we had like a 20 or 30% success rate, and the 70%, for some reason, whatever, it doesn't matter what I did in that industry, I just couldn't get them the results. And I remember it ate me up. I was so torn and so distraught, and every time I went to bed, I'm like, wow, like, you know, I'm trying everything I can, I'm doing my best, I can't help them, like, you know, but the thing that got me staying there a little bit longer was, it was paying the bills, finances were being supported, and it was good. And then it came to a point to where I'm like, I know I've outgrown this, and I've got to a place to where this isn't the highest road anymore. This is not the highest road. What is the higher road? And that's when I decided to leave that industry, leave that security blanket, that you know, that machine that was already working and providing, and take a higher road to where I could serve more people. My soul's calling, to where I can make an impact, and I can impact 100% of people, and they can get results, like, and then they can make that change. And I focus on that. And it was scary, because there was no bridge. There was no bridge, there was no road, there was no path, there was no certainty. It was literally my road, the higher road, and a big blank in between. But I got that pull, that intuitive, divine download. I needed to do that. It took me a while to do it. Like, I was procrastinating it, my mind was getting in the way, the doubt was getting in the way, but I eventually did. And when I did, things were never the same. more abundance, more happiness, more fulfillment, a whole new universe of possibilities. The grass was greener on the higher road. It was better, sweeter, better, more exhilarating, blissful, and everything I've ever wanted more. It was in that reality. I couldn't see it when I was in here. But when I took the leap of faith, not even a leap, because whatever was guiding me to go here knew it all, saw all different possibilities, and knew this was the best one, the higher road. And I took it. With all my doubts, I still took it, because my training kicked in. That I am not my mind. I am not my emotions. I am not my body. This is physical. Programming affected by news, media, society program. It's not even the real me. Still working on peeling the onions and layers of the onions. It's not me. My emotions, same thing. Affected by people, empath, different things. It's not me. I can't really trust it at times. My body isn't really the best representation of me. I mean, it's where I house my soul, but I'm infinite energy. I'm infinite, creative, unheld back power, potential, miraculous energy, consciousness that can create, dictate, mend reality to better people's lives, elevate myself and others. So I have it within me, you have it within you. We're always supported. So when the higher road comes up, it's not by accident. A lot of the times it's what we're here to do. It's what we're born to do. And the more we search and have faith and just dedicate, making a commitment that, wow, I am going to take the higher road for me. I am. Okay? Because the highest road will create the highest reality for you, the highest possibility, a miraculous one. Right? Because you're beyond what you think. You're beyond what your emotions are, and you're beyond your body. You're infinite possibility, infinite energy, infinite power, infinite love, endless, unbounded. This defines you. That which you are inside of you doesn't. So the more you remember that, and the more you channel that into doing your purpose work and taking the higher road, the more beautiful things come up for you. All right? And so it's a deep one. I needed to get that out. Another one here. Yeah. Money is energy, and you control energy, which ties into everything that I've been talking about, right? Money is a byproduct. Abundance, money, your reality is a byproduct of where you are, your energy, your frequency, and it's just energy. My wife, we were just talking earlier today. She was working on a few programs, and and she said it. It was so profound. She was like, I remembered. She was like, we don't create energy. Energy already exists. We just control it. We just mold it. We just direct it, right? And the people that are the most successful in life, the ones that you look at, you're like, wow, I want to have their lives. The ones that can really bend time and have abundance in all areas. They're the ones that know that everything is energy, and that they can mold, control, direct, amplify, decrease whatever energy they put into things, because they're an infinite source of energies that you are. It's just a matter of knowing how to operate your own energy to create your reality. That's it. I mean, I wish it was more complicated than that, but it's really that simple. At the root of it all, the most fundamental principle is that everything is energy. So is money. So if you're not succeeding at it, if you are not where you want to be, then it's time for you to really master your energy, your creative powers, and really the role that you play in all of this stuff. because you are in control. And the reason why you are not where you are is because you've given up control, or you're not aware that you are in control, or you're not aware of how to use your skills so you can be in control. But you are in control. All right. So, all right, just a check-in here. We've got two, hold on, actually we have one more. We have one more here. My wife wrote it out into bullet points because I actually wrote it out in 2 bullet points. Must have been that important. Okay, but before I go in here, just a little temperature check. How are you guys liking this so far? Right? What's your favorite part? Is it deep? Is it hitting home? Is it creating shifts and ahas for you? Comment in below. Curious little temperature check here. I know it's different times for people in here, and so I appreciate you guys staying in here and watching this. Awesome. All right, there you go. Love it. Change focus on energies. Awesome. Let's see here. Not aware of what I'm capable of. Perfect. Making sure that I still got you guys engaged here because we're on the last point. All right. So the last point, which is 2 points over here, right, is rewiring your money story into a higher frequency and shifting the need into a higher frequency, which is, I was writing it down this morning. So what it is money to us means something, right? So for us, if you're looking at it as, what is money? What is money to you? What does money do for you? What is the concept of money? What emotions does it bring out? It's for you is like, is money a way to survive? Is money a way to control? Is money for you a way to stay significant? Is money for you a way to feel empowered, right? Is money for you a way to be seen? Is money for you a way to stay protected, to stay hidden? What does money really mean to you? And I want you to be honest here. Like, go in. What does money mean to you? What emotions does it bring up? Does it bring up normally fear when you think about money? Does it bring up anxiety? Does it bring up excitement? Does it bring up opportunity? Does it bring up loss? What does money mean to you? Because when you look at it, you will see that money isn't, you're not really wanting money or this type of abundance. You're wanting what it can do for you, right? That's the current correlation. So what I realized is, if you can realize that money brings possibilities, money brings calmness, money brings freedom and old fear, freedom. Okay, so there's a lot of it here. So if you realize money brings securities and opportunities, protection, stability, freedom. I'm reading what you guys are putting on here. Excitement. So here's a shift that really helped. If you start looking at, okay, money brings in freedom. Money brings in freedom. Money brings in freedom. And you start looking at it that point of view, right? And instead of focusing on the money to get the freedom, you start asking yourself, how can I feel free today? And chase that frequency and raise up to that frequency and elevate to that frequency. In my experience, once you focus on that, how can I feel free today? What can I do? What can I do to feel free today outside of money? And you focus on achieving that, you put yourself in the frequency to where you jump the container and you get put under the container to where money is already available and money just comes, right? So that's one way I've seen it, is to just go ahead, cut out the middle, and go towards the end, and go for what you're really searching for, and focus on that. And when you do, it speeds up, it bends time, it accelerates abundance, because you are jumping into the frequency that you're chasing for anyway, and you skip the middle. That's one. Second is your need for the need that comes up. So if you're thinking about it, like, I need money to feel free. I need money to be secure. I feel anxiety or fear around money. Those are a little bit lower level, and ones that are understandable because I've had them as well, so I'm able to speak so clearly to them. A little bit lower level that keeps you in this money tangled energy where you can't break free. And what I've learned in that situation is to elevate your needs and start balancing it out and focusing on, okay, how can I use money for making a difference? How can I use money for elevating others? How can I use money for elevating myself? How can I use money for more than just like that, for these higher level frequencies? And you start focusing on them, because there's there's like everything in life, it's in how you use it. Like, money can be used for evil, can be used for good. Force for evil, force for good. It's what you do with it. So what I want you to do is start building out the reality of what money will do for you in positive areas. Growth, contribution, right? And really focusing on those needs, because you have lower level needs, but you also have higher level needs. And guess what? Once you elevate and focus on your higher level needs, and you build the reality around that, and you focus on that, and that's what you grow, then you guys know what happens when that's what you focus on, right? So a lot of it is giving you insight. If what you answered was fear, anxiety, worry, and those things, that's normal. A lot of people answer that. It's time to elevate those needs and focus on other needs that you probably would have missed out, because there's more than just that. That's a portion of you. It's a part of you, or a part of your programming, a part of your needs, but it's not all of you. It becomes all of you if that's all you focus on. But if you expand and look around, it's probably like 0.0000000000001% of all that you are. Not even a fraction of it. Okay? And all these 7 that I've shared with you, the 7 big breakthroughs for unstoppable abundance, every time I'm in any situation, doesn't matter what it is, if I'm hitting the lowest of the lows, it's because I'm probably not doing all of this. But when I'm doing all of this, I'm not even feeling the lows. I'm not even entering the lows. It's not even my reality. And when I am in a low and I need to get out of it or create something out of thin air because for some reason there's an off-ramp or life happened, so on and so forth, I do all of them, and it takes me higher, way higher, to where I'm pulling abundance, realities, magic, miracles, opportunities out of thin air and making it happen. Hey, Oliver here, I'm back. Okay, and question is, how did you like it? How did you like the 7 powerful breakthroughs for unstoppable abundance? What you just learned, what I just shared with you, these aren't theories. These are things that have come to me, that I've tried out, that I've learned, and because of it, we've had a lot of successful businesses and a lot of blessings and abundance, and people that we've shared this to, it's changed their lives as well, right? So here's the thing, I want to invite you, here's my invitation to you. If you're ready to release your abundance blocks and know how to release them and clear them and heal them mentally, emotionally, energetically, because that's what it takes. If you work on mental, emotional, and energetic blocks that are stopping you from total abundance, whether it's finances, relationships, your health, your inner peace, if you're ready for that life, then I want to invite you to my 30-day program. Okay, it's Accelerated Abundance. Accelerated Abundance. It's a very, very powerful program. We have a lot of success stories, people that have gone through it, And in 30 days, by the time you are done with the 30 days, you would have learned all the tools and hopefully implemented them. So your biggest blocks mentally, emotionally, and energetically that's stopping you from experiencing abundance, they're gone. All right, they're gone, and you just step into a new reality where whatever it is you've always wanted, whatever it is you've always dreamed about, it's right there and you're living it. It's your reality. Okay, so if you are interested, I invite you to my 30-day Accelerated Abundance program. Link is below. Check it out. Learn more. Hopefully, I'll see you on the inside.